yellow flag here, which he's been told to do by race control for Potter Award.
It's Chronicle, the leader of that first stint of the race. Kyle Kirkwood with a great restart, worked his way back up to that third position, and after serving that drive-through, Alex Palou has fallen down to the 21st position as we check back in on pit lane with AC.
Thanks a lot. Here with Stingray Rob, and man, first things first, glad you're okay. That was really scary there, but you really had nowhere to go, right?
Yeah, nowhere to go. Really tight confines around street courses like this, and that might have been the worst part of the racetrack for it to happen. Just nowhere to dive off into and no runoff. So I feel bad for the team. It's not the day we need it. I wish it was a non-points race because we need some big points now. But still super thankful. This is a great opportunity to be able to run around this place. Getting a Patriot myself, running around the national capital. It was a pretty cool opportunity, so hopefully we get a chance to do it again. I want another shot at it, one other shot at going towards the front.
Glad you're okay once again.
All right, Anthony, thank you, and thank you to Stingray for his thoughts. As caught up in this when David Malukas shot across the track and smacked the wall in turn 7, and Rod came around the corner. When you're hard on the gas when you come off that corner too, and found the Malukas car sitting right in his way.
Stingray had to go from go to slow and with nowhere to go, and then we see Graham Rahal, the subsequent leader, nearly got involved in that as well. So great reaction from Graham Rahal, avoiding that two-car incident. So pits will be open this time. Graham Rahal is the race leader. Kevin Simpson is second. They both made very early pit stops, 2 of them in fact in this race, and stayed on the racetrack when the other leaders pinned under the caution at lap 39. Kyle Kirkwood is third. Lamont Grosjean fourth. Grosjean, another one who made pit stops earlier and stayed on the racetrack under the last caution. Then Scott McLaughlin fifth. Marcus Armstrong sixth. Felix Rosenquist seventh. Eighth is Christian Lundgaard. Ninth now is Potter Award and Dennis Hauger. Rounds out your top 10. The other rookie, Kyle Collette, along with Dennis Hauger, runs 11th. There's Joseph Newgarden, Will Powers, Scott Dixon, Marcus Erickson in the top 15. Alexander Rossi, Louis Foster, Bernard Siegel, Christian Rasmussen, the reason for our latest caution, running 19th, and Mick Schumacher running 20th. But they will, of course, fall to the tail end of this field. The big loser in all of that was Alex Palou, but somewhat a good thing, if you will, that caution came out when it did, because Alex Palou had to do that drive-through, and with the caution coming out, he could have lost a ton more time out on that racetrack. So Palou running in the 21st position, but it's BK, Ferrucci, Malukas, and Stingray Rob as we head back down to pit lane to DJ Clark.
Christian Rasmussen is down in pit lane right now, getting a rear wing change. Not normally something we see in the NTT IndyCar Series. It's a little bit more of an involved change than it is for the front wing, but the ECR team has been able to do that. They're giving the car a once-over, checking out the rear toe link, and they just got a big thumbs up. They're going to have to refire the car, send it back out. I'm told he'll be back down next time around for fresh tires and fuel.
Thank you, DJ. That's one big assembly, Alan, that all comes off. When that gets damaged, it's not a day over for a team. They can pull that whole rear wing assembly with the attenuator off of that car and replace it.
Now Alex Palou just came down the pit lane also under this yellow flag. Our championship leader back in 21st position before the yellow flag after the pass-through penalty earlier. So we'll follow up and see if Palou changed tires there or if he just topped off the fuel to try and make an extended run here and get on a different pit strategy from everybody else. Showing Palou in 19th position right now. Going to add another lap to the caution flag here. As still getting the field order set. Look at that. Look at that scene.
Unbelievable. The stripes on the top of our screen, I should say the bottom of our screen, the stars, oh, I was right, stripes on the top, stars on the bottom, and you fans have come out, and we thank you for being a part of this, such an historic day. Rasmussen back to pit lane. He will stay on the lead lap.
Who else we got? We got the one to go signal here. We're going to go racing next time by. I saw another team going out there to lay out some tires.
Now working our 19th lap of caution. Alan, you talked about race strategy. How many did they truly need to make it a three-stopper?
Yep, and just listening to another penalty being called from race control. I believe that's a 66 of Marcus Armstrong.
Stop and hold, yes.
For avoidable contact for that incident down there in turn 5.
We talked about race strategy. About 20 laps is what these teams felt they really needed to make this a three-stop race, and we are now in that window.
Louis Foster was the team that was laying out tires and making the stop as the caution period wraps up. So we'll get the restart at lap 50 completed. Beginning of lap 51. Graham Rahal leads, Kiffin Simpson second, Kyle Kirkwood third, Romain Grosjean fourth, Scott McLaughlin fifth. Alex Palou is 18th. And the green is out. And we're racing again in the nation's capital.
Keep our eyes on that car, third in line. Sam's Club, the sponsorship on that car. Kyle Kirkwood on the charge. One driver ducking down into pit lane. That's Marcus Armstrong. For the stop and go, avoidable contact. Kyle Kirkwood making a bold move around Kiffin Simpson into turn number 2.
Kirkwood on the gas, and he gets through to the number 2 position. So now looking to go after Graham Rahal and see if he can quickly get back out into the lead and the clean air and put some distance on the rest of this field. Here he is, accelerating hard off of turn number 4, down to the braking zone of turn number 5, side by side for the race lead.
Kyle Kirkwood clears Graham Rahal and will go back to the lead, and he has already checked out 3 car lengths a little further back. Romain Grosjean now finds himself under attack from Scott McLaughlin. McLaughlin about a half a car length behind.
So around turn number 7 and back to the start finish line. As we're more than a quarter way through our Freedom 250 Grand Prix. And Kyle Kirkwood reassumes the lead for the second time. Let's go back down by IndyCar Medical to Lindsay Zarniak.
David, we're glad you're okay. That was a scary incident, though. What happened out there?
Yeah, I just tapped the inside wall. I was starting to struggle with it from the beginning. You know, I'm dealing with my wrist and all these things, but I mean, it's no excuse. I just feel like I'm in a bit of a bad run of form these past few races and kind of really need to figure myself out here these next few days. We got a few more races here in Milwaukee and Laguna, and I want to finish it on a strong suit because it's not been a good performance from my side. You know, I've really been struggling, and I really got to figure out what's been going on because I'm letting sponsors down, letting the team down, and I need to get it figured out.
You were working yourself back up there, though. Can you at least take solace in the fact that you are seeing improvement?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we're making improvements. You know, especially this race is taking big gains, but you know, I just can't be happening anymore, right? Like, I'm here at Team Mexico. We need to be getting results, so I gotta get it sorted.
Thanks, David.
David, of course, mentioning he very badly injured wrist a couple of years ago, and it's taken a long time to get back to full form, and he still is discussing that in certain circumstances, and particularly on certain race courses, that wrist injury is still a factor.
Talked with David during that healing process, and he said it was going to take a long time, if ever, to be able to fully heal, as we see Scott McLaughlin get to the inside of Romain Grosjean. So Luke McLaughlin up a position. He will now take over that 4th position, but you can really tell how much David Malukas feels bad about this situation. His rookie campaign with Team Penske obviously was supposed to be the now with Errol McLaren. He did that, but now the light of his life. So that's a tough go for David Malukas as we head back down to check in and see.
Yeah, guys, here at Rita speaking, we literally just got out of medical. Number 1, I'm glad you're okay. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, I mean, got hit from behind. I was a passenger after that, unfortunately. We got a very lucky break. On my yellow, I already pitted and it went yellow right after, so there was a bug there, but unfortunately, put in the wall right afterwards. I didn't see the actual incident. but I think from where I was, it was a pretty vicious hit from the left rear to put me in the wall.
So AD2Z joins Dave Malukas and Stingray Robb as three drivers out of the race in today's first and only crash so far. The other two yellow flags. Actually, we've had two crashes, the other two yellow flags, both for debris on the race course.
We talked about the losers earlier in the race. Indianapolis 500 champion Felix Rosenquist was running in that sixth position. Christian Lundgaard just able to get around the driver who sports the Texas A&M University colors this race weekend. And Rosenquist dropping back several car lengths as now Christian Lundgaard looks forward and tries to get up underneath the rear wing of Scott McLaughlin. Graham Rahal pitted last on lap 21, has been out on these primary tires. Clifford Simpson came in and put a set of used primaries on. Along Grosjean with fresh. Goes all driver to off tackle with Kyle Kirkwood and Scott McLaughlin. Right now, this race is very much being controlled by Kyle Kirkwood. He's out in front, in the air, hammer on some great lap times. And there isn't anybody that from the group that qualified up front that has bypassed the cars that are on the off-pit stop schedule and been able to get out there with it, like Kirkwood has. Good fight for second, third, fourth, and fifth, but some of those guys are not on the same pit stop schedule with the race leader. Christian Lundgaard, for example, or Scott McLaughlin, not been able to get around the Roman Grosjean 2 and 16 or Graham Rahal cars to try and stay in touch with Kyle Kirkwood. The bigger news for Kyle Kirkwood is he's on his second set of those alternate tires, and he really doesn't need to push. He's pulling away, so he's able to draw away from second place runner Graham Rahal, but also save on those alternate tires at the same time. Kirkwood across the start-finish line, and continuing to post some of the fastest laps of everybody in the field, lap after lap. That was a 59.40. In comparison to Scott McLaughlin 69.70, so putting another 0.3 of a second on the closest driver on the same pit stop schedule to him is Kyle Kirkwood. Now, there's Graham Rahal, fallen 2.5 seconds behind our leader. He was able to muster a nearly identical lap to Kyle Kirkwood. That lap time field, 59.4 for Kirkwood, a 40, and a 49 for Graham Rahal. Obviously, right on with, along with Graham Rahal. He is up to turn number 5 now in the braking zone. Rahal put a bit of a gap on Kevin Simpson, who runs in third. What an adventure it's been the last 24 hours for Graham Rahal. In the second practice here yesterday, had contact with the wall, damaged his car, put them on the back foot for qualification, did not qualify very well at all, and took the green flag for this race back in 20th position, and a couple of road spots were gained because others had grid penalties and were put back behind him. But getting off schedule on the pit stops, working a good strategy with everybody else, the caution fell in his favor, and here the driver from Ohio runs in second spot. That's really what you have to do when you're on your back foot right out of the gate. Run your own race, take advantage of the caution when you can, and at Rahal, Levin, the landing crew, and Graham Rahal with good electric spots on the car have done just exactly that. So, a couple things to check on. We'll check on Alex below. Championship leader back in 18th position. He's on the primary, the hard tire, and he's running 17 seconds behind race leader Kyle Kirkwood. Below has hit it 3 times in the race now. One of them was the pass-through penalty. He made an additional stop where they, I believe, topped up the fuel before this last restart. And we'll keep an eye on Alex below and what he's able to do to rally back from that penalty earlier. Marcus Armstrong, after his penalty, sits in 21st position, lead lap, but he's 36 seconds behind the race leader. After the wing repair, Christian Rasmussen also lead lap, but he's 33 seconds behind the race leader. Rasmussen running in 20th place. There's the pass to position down in the center of the field. Marcus Erickson getting around Scott Dixon. Nolan Siegel trying to do the same. The door open by Erickson, and Dixon not able to close it before Siegel gets through. So that's a change of the 13th, 14th, and 15th positions. With Erickson up to 13th, Siegel 14th, and now Dixon back to 15th place. And that 15th position is not yet prepared for Scott Dixon because Alexander Rossi is right there, and he's knocking on the door. Goes in that 50 number 6 center of it, comes back in underneath that river with Scott Dixon. Dixon pin number 7, once again, Alexander Rossi focusing back forward. And he has Mick Schumacher directly behind him, and there you see Alex Palou. Championship 7, Palou came into this race with a pretty sizable lead over second place of 133 points. Right now, as they run on the racetrack, about 40 of those points would disappear should they finish as they're running now, though we've got a long way to go in this race before we start passing out championship points at the end of the day. One of the things I've learned about Alex Palou is good championship started out, and one of the things change at this point of the race, what they do at the end of the race. They always seem to find a way, and they are battle their way back up to the front. It never takes out for that driver and his good charge to Ray Washington. So Ray Hall pits here from second place. Ray Hall on the pit lane from the second spot for what will be his third pit stop of the race already. And it comes just after completing the 60th lap. There's a little context. Notice it over in the corner with Marcus Erickson continuing to charge forward. He opens the door to the inside of Dennis Hauger, and Nolan Siegel will follow him through. A nice pass is there for both of those drivers. Graham Royhall got set of primary tires, went 39 laps, so a good sit for Graham Royhall. For the third stop of the race, he's going to come along in 18th position, just behind Alex Palou, 32 seconds behind the race leader. Another look on the screens of that challenge for a spot with Howard trying to defend and Marcus Erickson having none of it. There we watch it again. The Swede makes that move underneath Dennis Hauger. Hauger back in, steps out, and allows Siegel to sneak by. And Siegel has been certainly one of the drivers on the move since that last restart. He's up 5 positions into Will Power. Talked about Alexander Rossi. He's up 5 positions as well as Marcus Erickson is up 4.
So the running order for you, it's Kirkwood, Simpson, Grosjean, McLaughlin, and Lundgaard, the first 5. Then Rosenquist, Award, Power, Newgarden, and Collette back in the team.
Erickson in that run position. We have 4 cautions and 19 laps, 2 different drivers in left. With a trip to the first 3 laps at Grant Rahal, and it's taking Sandy from back 39 to 50. Quickly goes back around 8, and back 51. We work to 63rd lap of the race. Quickly was extended to 3 laps at 5.2 seconds. Over Kevin Christensen. Look back at the end of his car. And to the outboard view on the big screen from Kyle Kirkwood. We don't have that company looking back here, does it? It's hard to look out that real work and even pick up any other car. Kevin Christensen still under that second position, but it puts it back to the 21 right now to the second. Crosses the start-finish line. A massive advantage to Kirkwood. 5 seconds as it stands right now. On board Scott McLaughlin, running in 4th place. Also driving the PPG T50 Chevrolet. It is 150 car started.
Looking to break a dry spell that's gone on for a little bit. It's late in the 2024 season. Welcome is going to the top step on the podium, and he's hoping to fix that here in the seats of our racing capital today. Here's a step back on Alex Palou. Running 17th spot. Well, Palou's that time just a little bit over that 1 minute mark, while Kyle Kirkwood putting last in the just to take about 59. So really a second, Kyle Kirkwood is gaining each lap over Alex Palou, who's flying back in the field. Well, Lydia Kirkwood did it about 64. So it's going to be just around lap 100 before we might see him on the pit lane again. He's the battle for that 13th position. Scott Dixon holding off Alexander Rossi. Rossi really kept up there as he tried to make that pass to down in the two. Lost a couple of car lengths on Scott Dixon. As Dixon stepped up for that right-hander and a long run down into turn number 5. So for now, Dixon holding off Alexander Rossi. Schumacher right behind him. He regained a little bit of lost ground from being on pit road for a long time earlier, but he dropped him all the way over to the tail end of the field. And Schumacher now up into the 16th position, just ahead of Alex Palou.
Sorry about that.
And I guess any time in the NCT car series, you can say you're ahead of Alex Palou, you do okay. Now, you can't have a win in that itself for sure. Lead continues to go for Kyle Kirkwood, now 5.5 seconds over Christian Simpson, but Christian did a really good job. Kyle Kirkwood played on for 59.2 and Christian Simpson 59.4 in the last 10 series. Goes down to 59.5, McLaughlin at 59.4, the lead got a 59.6. So all of the top, almost 8 drivers are still on that 59-second mark. This is quite a job from Kyle Kirkwood. And he's just out there hammering laps up and adding his advantage over second place each and every lap. Up to 5.3 seconds is the lead now from first to second. Lamar Grosjean running in third. After the great P2 result, the lead go on the street of Markham, Ontario, the last P2 in the Car Series race. There's also happened to be another first ever street course. That beautiful Ontario city. I think for Kyle Kirkwood, he just needs a good rebound after last weekend's race. Had one of the fastest cars in that final stage of the race that threw it all away. They contacted the inside and taking it all through the outside. And Alex Palou having issues again. They have a problem with the front left, so he left really the pit box. They had to put him rolling down, put him back in the track to put that left front on. So two very low moments on pit lane in the chase from that opening IC. And the lead goes forward to put Palou on that drive. So Alex Palou will be the car behind Kyle Kirkwood on the racetrack, but now he's a lap down with the race leader. Some of the Firestone Red by the car. Palou has it out there on a huge set, a set of the Firestone primary tires. So he's on the soft now. As another look at that pit stop. Watch the left front. Trying to get the rear field and he's dropped right down before he goes to go. Good touch by the team to stop him from driving away before that rear is properly fully attached. Now that's so easily been even more disastrous than it was for that team. So today, 21st position, a lap down to the race leader. Kyle Kirkwood continues to just have that lead, 6.5 seconds foul of Christian Simpson. Lamar Grosjean, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, they're top 5. Then Rosie Crusoe, Warren Power, Lundgaard, and the rookie Kyle Palou, the highest rated rookie at this point, running in that 10th position as we continue to watch
not one, but 2 mistakes so far in this race. We're talking about pitch down here. I didn't look at the ball number. I was sorting all this. So before, last 100, it's going to be about lap 75 or so. But we'll see Kyle Kirkwood on the pit lane next bar in the yellow flag. So we're at lap number 69 now, completing. We'll be lap number 70. So now we're far away. So some of these front runners coming back down the pit lane for another third stop. Beautiful day here at Lincoln Capital. 86 is our early temperature. Our cap temperature really hasn't gone up much. Even though the sun has been beating down on this road surface. And the ball is taken inside by Kyle Kirkwood. And he is in Pittsburgh, Shreveport Forward. There you see Kirkwood and then the lap car, the championship point leader out play. That was just in front of the AC and stop Pittsburgh, who then came off the pit lane, having made a green flag pit stop at lap number 68, but they did for a lap of row. And you will see him ahead out. We'll see a Kyle Kirkwood as we see the market there from the driver of the leading wall. Not the big putting on the safe lap, but Kyle Kirkwood probably had that package, so the Kirkwood being on the right to it. There's some people on the pit lane. There we see the city between the pit lane, running on the way, come back down the pit lane. City's on the way. Kirkwood, right on the pit lane, ready to go. Moving down, on the way. And we'll come back on the third street. And the 7th clean inside to the zone. For the Prix after the 7th round. That is 147 on the race. So we're having the Prix. So we're on the way talking about to the field over the time. So the team in the green is on. He's playing better. Keeping on lap 45 and is truly well off the pace. There's 5 seconds down, just about 3 laps ago, and now we're down 7 seconds. We're down by 10, but lap on the other new pace, and he's also 10 seconds down in Woodgard, 5 seconds on the first leader. 2 games, so the other review of the company, about the other, 73rd. Some of the others they were keeping other pace with Kyle Kirkwood either. With the battle forward so far for Kirkwood, and the same start times the machine has been very over. You can see Kyle Kirkwood out about the racehorse. Now looking lap 73 and 147. Starting at the top of the Kyle Kirkwood. There we go. And they're checking top 60. Joe John is here now. Great turn early. And he'll make the stop. And then coming back top of the third line to DJ Clark.
Remember, John's complaining about brake problems on the car, but they're going to go from blacks to a set of primaries. And that's going to be a good stop for him. Second place on his way. And they're going to fix those brake problems with this adjustment on the brake eyes.
Change the boundary of the top 10 as Marcus Erickson gets on higher ground to get up right side. So Marcus Erickson, after starting 41st, has got the charge here in this first half of the race. It's going to get a pack. We've got the midway point of our 22 Grand Prix, and another one. I'm really surprised by Marcus Erickson and his teammates in the back. Kirkwood and Billy Joe and for whatever reason, Billy Joe always has a very good pace on the way to street circuit together. You see the bodies are going to be better, but it's at the top of the line as we line out. We want to move up to that 9th position. I have a couple of guys who are sure. It's Marcus Erickson. They're last second here. And the Swedes in Ireland, they're expired drive. They're going down 63 races for Erickson. Last season was just pretty disheartening for that driver. And Delaney really put it out this season when they did things over in the other direction too. But they have to earn out. And Erickson got the shot to the field. But halfway through, the 2020 Grand Prix, halfway through. And
Putting the top position here, looking so right with your back in there, but he turns to be right. Looks like cigarette, so looking something, no problem, sitting out of the way. He's a pride on the radio, very happy with that.
He's still running low 59 second laps. 59-1 last time through.
Yeah, he's a hammer. Christian Lundgaard makes a pit stop. Lundgaard is in from the top 6 spot. So it's Kirkwood, McLaughlin, Howard, Rosenquist, and Newgarden now the top 5 as the cycle of pit stops continues. And as Hauger will pit.
Hauger running in that 15th position. Will tumble through the field as now we see Alexander Rossi contacting that replay with Kyle Collette.
And Trusty as Collette just came out of the pit stop.
That's right, you got that. Just used to Rossi running out there and making those bold moves for his teammate Christian Rasmussen. Nice pass, but a neat contact with that rookie Kyle Collette.
Marcus Ericsson, Joseph Newgarden making pit stops here. We just talked about Ericsson a little bit ago from his charge up into the top 10. Auto Ward over shot turn 6, he's in the row. He's got to fire it around.
finished a pit stop as well, trying to get those tires up to temp. Just a couple of laps to go on that. Will cost valuable racetrack for Power as he rejoins the field. And Kyle Kirkwood's in, and DJ's got the stop.
Kirkwood's going to go on to a set of sticker primes. It looks like the Shell 100% renewable fuel goes in the car. This team feels like they have got this race in their back hand. They're not taking anything for granted, but they feel good. They called that strategy exactly what they wanted.
Now McLaughlin in the pit lane as well. We saw a half a round on that front wing for Kyle Kirkwood, your leader. McLaughlin will go to primary tires. Waiting on that fuel, that is the longest portion of a pit stop. Doesn't take very long to change 4 tires. It's the fuel that takes about 18.5 gallons. And you see Scott McLaughlin make his way back off the pit lane. Alexander Rossi right there. And Rossi will get around McLaughlin.
Felix Rosenquist, Nolan Siegel, Mick Schumacher also making pit stops here under the green flag. Will Power is now the race leader. It's Will Power who leads. Power's coming through turn 6 and now turn 7. And exiting off onto the main straightaway and across the start-finish line. So Power, the race leader, over Kirkwood.
This will be 80 laps for Will Power on this spin. He's on, or you should say, he took brand new primary tires. And Alan, how about this? Ran a lap of a 58.7 last time. He ran a time of 59.5. But Will Power, a lot of speed remaining in that car.
So it's Power, Kirkwood, Rossi, McLaughlin, Simpson, Lundgaard, Rosenquist, Grosjean, Rahal, and Ericsson, the current top 10. And again, with a couple of outliers in there, still been able to stop in this cycle. Primarily Will Power, the race leader, and Alexander Rossi, who has not pitted since lap 47 of this race.
You talked about Kip and Simpson off the strategy of the leaders right now, but doing a fantastic job running inside that top 5. Simpson, the lead car for Chip Ganassi Racing, as his teammate Scott Dixon and Alex Baldwin in 17th and 18th.
Will Power's on pit road. The race leader comes in to the attention of the Andretti Global crew. The lead changes hands and will go back into possession of Kyle Kirkwood.
There you see Scott McLaughlin moving that little way back to Kevin Simpson. So Kirkwood has, now that it's said, it's taken back over the lead. Scott McLaughlin P2. Simpson will shuffle to 3rd. Then it's Lundgaard and Will Power, who just made a stop trying to get those tires up to temp, running in the 5th position.
Alexander Rossi is on pit road for a stop. Otto Ward and Christian Rasmussen back in.
What a run thus far as we see several drivers making their way down pit lane. Otto Ward being one of those.
Rasmussen the other.
They will follow their way back in. I wanted to mention, look at Will Power, where he started in that 12th position, slowly made his way through that field, is doing an amazing job this weekend. We were talking about last weekend, he started last in the field and made his way out of the podium. Another great run by the Aussie Will Power.
Certainly the Andretti Global cars have shown pace on this streets of Washington, D.C. course this weekend. With Kyle Kirkwood leading, Will Power running for 5th. And we talked about Marcus Ericsson also having good pace. He's all the way up to 9th position now. So maybe qualifying didn't go the way that they wanted it to, but they had the pace on race day for sure. So Kyle Kirkwood's lead is 8 seconds, almost 9. Over Scott McLaughlin. In fact, it has just become 9 seconds as he crosses the start-finish line. A rundown for you in the field as we're just past the midway point of the race. It's Kyle Kirkwood leading, Scott McLaughlin 2nd, Kevin Simpson 3rd, Christian Lundgaard 4th, and Will Power 5th. 6th and 4th, Felix Rosenquist. Laurent Grosjean is 7th. Graham Rahal is 8th. Marcus Ericsson is 9th, and Louis Foster is 10th.
Position going Siegel, and it's Joseph Newgarden, Kyle Collette, Scott Dixon, and Alex Palou now up to that 15th position. Alexander Rossi, Dennis Hauger, Mick Schumacher, Pato O'Ward, and Christian Rasmussen, who just came to pit lane, round out the top 20.
21st, Marcus Armstrong, Santino Ferrucci, 8 laps out in 22nd. And out of the race leaders, DK, David Malukas, and Stingray Wall. 4 cautions, 19 laps. 3 different leaders, 5 lead changes among them. And right now, the lead for Kirkland McLaughlin is 9.1 seconds. He's adding to it every single lap.
I've been watching the rebound for Alex Palou after the drive-through penalty. The caution then came out, and the speed car put lane, putting him a lap down. And still been extremely quick, one of the fastest cars in the field, has driven his way back on that lead lap and to 15th position. As we shuffle on your video screens from Kyle Kirkwood, the second place running Scott McLaughlin. So first and second both on the primary tire. And the next 4 drivers are on alternate. Simpson, Lundgaard, Power, and Rosenquist. Grosjean and Rahal both are the primaries. Big shout out to both of those drivers as their strategies have really played out thus far in this race. They are the primaries. Ericsson on the alternates, and Foster. Racing. Currently running at 10th position. Had the fastest car 1 weekend ago. Has really struggled all weekend, but a good run thus far for the early part of the race.
Foster had the pole position in the streets of Markham last Sunday and did a lot of leading in that event. Got trapped back in traffic, as he hits here now. And on his way charging back through the field, just clipped the inside wall on one of the tough corners here and wound up crashing hard to the outside wall. Scott, no, that's Nolan Siegel losing a spot. Joseph Newgarden goes by him. And to the 10th place. So Newgarden down to 10th, and Siegel back to 11th.
Siegel will now have to contend with the Kyle Collette. That's been a great battle for the last handful of laps or so. Dennis Hauger and Mick Schumacher, as they have been dueling back and forth, and Mick Schumacher finally able to get around Dennis Hauger. And it took a lot longer than I think Mick Schumacher wanted it to, but finally got around it. The driver leading in the leader standing, so two rookies battling there. And then, of course, that battle for the 16th position.
So here's an interesting situation as Kyle Kirkwood, the race leader by a mile, is now come up on a group of 4 cars running just in front of him. Louis Foster, Pato O'Ward, Christian Rasmussen, and Marcus Armstrong, all just in front of the race leader. Siegel's lap times look like, see what kind of progress he might be able to make through these cars, and if he can find a place to make some passes.
Patience needs to be key for Kyle Kirkwood. There you see the 4 slower cars, the leader of the pit in line, as Marcus Armstrong makes it back to the inside of Christian Rasmussen. Now we'll make that pass.
Check down the leader's pit with DJ Park.
Yeah, and as Kyle Kirkwood makes that pass, that's
actually because I heard it come over the radio a couple of laps ago, over overtake was available. That was that added system. It allows you to make folks a little bit more horsepower and come easier over the ground. That's a use of that of it. Had Kyle Kirkwood and boy, Christian Rasmussen had a handful. He had to take it and check. Wow. He did leap over a couple on the bump there, but if you kept wrong, we see on every weekend, we kept you out. And pass you into that area, the outside of the racetrack. That's you can get in front of the race leader Kyle Kirkwood. That's the last car on the lead lap, which is 23rd position. He's under no obligation to pull over and let the race leader through. But if that took that race leader's car in front, it would be difficult to keep them behind you for every length of time anyway.
fans don't give the round bottle award. They feel our leader, Kyle Pittsburgh, gave around Christian Washington and putting him all out down. Just to say with the traffic news though, Kyle Pittsburgh's lead was 9 seconds over second place, not that long ago. It's down to 6.5. Next by Green is the fifth of this season's cars instead of being out there hammering away by himself. Next year, he raised himself to top of the wall and found himself in that fifth position when he's going to go in the season market. Now threatened to go a lap down. Kyle Pittsburgh with 90 seconds of that pinch to pass, and this is the first time we've really seen him use it throughout this race. Couple of seconds used there, a couple of alongside, Kyle Pittsburgh. He's trying to make that pass to the 13. We're going to work him down to the corner, and we'll see those three. It puts Pato a lot down, and then Pato running off into the runoff area at turn 6. 7 laps to go. We can look to him closer to the front of the pack, all the way to now be a lot down. Well, Rahal was just down that pit road for what will be a second stop, so Rahal going back in 16th place. Navigated 4th pit stop of the race, while the leaders quickly, for example, of only made 2. Well, doing a very good job, not only managing that field, but more importantly, managing those tires. Getting their laps on the first set, 40 on the second set of alternate tires. That was all of the green flag racing. So now he's on their primary tires, brand new second set for Kyle Pittsburgh. And set to be out there for quite some time as Armstrong makes the move, trying to get around Lee Foster and keeping himself as on the lap down as Foster does the over-under, picking on Armstrong, that will allow Pittsburgh to put Armstrong a lap down. Laps are complete of 147. So 57 laps to go. We're the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. And the leader, Kyle Kirkwood. Continuing to see his advantage over second place South McLaughlin trimmed away down. Now the third place, 9 seconds. So that was 9 seconds a little while ago. McLaughlin running with the 3 air to 2 racetrack right now and hammer out some great laps. Now this could be key to Kyle Pittsburgh to get around Lee Foster here to turn number 2. They're side by side, and the Englishman will go a lap down. Kyle Pittsburgh will take Lee Foster a lap down to now 17 times. We're in on the lead lap, and now next to the door of Kyle Pittsburgh, lots of green and green racetracks in front of him. And I thought McLaughlin, the second place guy, was going to have to encounter all that same traffic. The leading Kirkwood just worked his way through, so work ahead. And it also beginning to come out with some pressure from Christian Lundgaard, running in third position. Lundgaard is close up to where he's just about a second and 2 off of the rear wing of Scott McLaughlin. There's a bit more power. Watching his lap time, he has been running below 59.1 last time too. One of the quickest, if not the quickest lap currently on track. So his more power runs in that clean air as he stops taking Christian right in front of him. That'll still be a battle for the 4th position. But out of by the time we cycle through the remainder of this race, Jim Power could be in position to get himself another podium finish. He could be. He could be likely a little bit ahead from the time of the yellow flag, but so far, we've been green for quite a while now. Last second flag coming out, back at lap number 43, and here we are at lap number 92. That's the Power. Certainly trying to get another impressive performance of late after what very fair to say was a greatly struggling start of his time within Johnny Global this year. He got back to that podium now, coming into our race here in Nation's capital. And it hasn't all been easy, including last week at the Chief of Markham, where that podium came after a crash and an engine swap and started last in the race. Remember, Kyle Pittsburgh just 1 weekend ago did an engine swap as well. He took that 6-pack good penalty, made him to avoid that coming into this weekend on the Prix of DC. Matthew Sainz that today or yesterday. They got engine swap, so he suffered that 6-spot grid penalty today. And there you see the battle taking up for that fourth position. The highest winning kick and accusation car, that's Cindy Simpson, and Will Kyle coming running down as we head back to the front of the field. Kyle Kirkwood, 6.4 seconds ahead of Scott McLaughlin. So that car just in front of Kyle Kirkwood on the scene. That is Alex Palou, just off pit lane after making another pit stop. So the fifth stop of the day, the fifth stop of the day for Alex Palou, one of which was a penalty. Has he just in front of lead-seated Kyle Kirkwood. Palou had gotten back on the lead lap and Kirkwood made a pit stop, but didn't touch the caution flag that he needed, and now he's just in front of the lead-seated and the last car on the lead lap. Interesting on that stop that Alex Palou had done with having to take on the front lap. He came out a lap down. Heading to stop the two, it's all big green, so as Palou comes back in, he was able to be in front of Kyle Kirkwood. That's how much faster Alex Palou has been, although he's been back in the back of the field. Kyle Kirkwood just came upon that traffic, but that shows you how quick Alex Palou truly is when he's out in that clean air. So 53 laps to go in the previous DC Grand Prix. Kyle Kirkwood leads. Scott McLaughlin is second. Christian Lundgaard is third. Kevin Simpson is fourth, and Will Power is fifth. Felix Rosenberg is Marcus Eric is seventh. The long goes on east. Joseph Newgarden on the blue side. And Nolan Siegel having a good run, running in 10th position. How about a fastest rookie of the race thus far is Kyle Collette. He's running in that 11th position. Scott Dixon works his way to the 12th position. Then it's on to the roster. The other rookie Nick Schumacher and Brandon Rahal running 15th. Then it's Dennis Hogger, Alex Palou, Louis Foster, Marky Thompson, Potter Award is running in that 20th position. Last weekend, Parisi, Vito, Maluka, Singway, Rob, the final three between Maluka and Rob out of this race. Parisi 8 laps down. And the drivers currently 1 lap down. Louis Foster, Marky Thompson, Potter Award, and Christian Rasmussen. So now they're thinking ahead from third place Christian Lundgaard, at second place Scott McLaughlin. And McLaughlin with that traffic just ahead of him. See if Lundgaard can find a way to use that traffic for his advantage here as he tries to get second spot away. As we continue to watch the activity in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, let's check the babies already up for one special guest.
When I do what you were doing already, but we got to put back to watching how I everybody's on pace and strategy-wise, because everybody hopes that still a long way to go. But we're happy. I mean, we have 3 cars in the top 10 and 1 in 3. So, I think what's your confidence level that you can do it? We do really well. I mean, honestly, I think we're somewhat responsible to grow the pace, so we don't know what's going to happen. Yellow and so forth, a lot of things that could change, but so far,
NPL is great to catch up with the legend, Mario Gray, Scott McLaughlin trying to work his way around Louis Foster. That is allowed Christian Lundgaard to catch those two as McLaughlin makes his way through that turn number 3 portion. Oh, and the back is set on a Foster, got to open the door for Lundgaard. Lundgaard getting around Foster, who's running in 19th position, and he's the second car, 1 lap down now. So that is the race for second place. Scott McLaughlin in the red, white, and blue stars and stripes PPG Team Texas Chevy, and Lundgaard in the papaya orange and black trim. Arrow McLaren Chevrolet, number 7. We talked about that deficit that Scott McLaughlin had it down to 6 seconds as Pat Pickles negotiated his way through traffic, and as we watched the replay of McLaughlin getting around Foster and Lundgaard following suit. McLaughlin didn't see that lap traffic cost him 4 seconds, so now that deficit 10 for Scott McLaughlin and only to Kyle Kirkwood. The
race is Tyler Ward trying to get around Louis Foster. That's actually a really poor position. It's for a 1-2 spot. They're both a lap down. Meantime, it's got Will Power, the fourth place driver, trapped in behind him. Watching you see ahead of him. It's Power now. He was ahead from his car as he works his way up 7th Street to Independence Avenue. Power battling around Triple Kingston when we were talking with Mario Andretti. So Power now up to that 4th position, and John had mentioned. Now they get around Power Award. And the game catch with Christian Lingard. Another impressive drive for Will Power. Will, 45 years old, as he tries to clear the inside of Award to try and get one of the two lap cars that are between himself and his next rival for position out of the way. So Power running in 4th place and looking for yet another spot on the podium in the late 2026 campaign for the MPP of the Cup Series. The Kyle Kirkwood comes off turn number 7 and crosses his finish line to complete 100 laps of the 147 in our summer edition of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. 100 laps down, 2/3 of the way through the race. It's been a lot of fun watching Will Power work his way through this field. First half of the season, just had all kinds of woes, breaking issues with that car. Finding his comfort level with Greg Global after moving over from Pete Pesky. Power now sets up to get around the last car of Louis Foster. Now he will set his sights on 3rd place running Christian Lingard. But to your point, Analyze of Louis has done extremely well at sound pace. Still has had several crashes, but come race day, Will Power knows how to drive his way to the front and is proving to do so as well today here on the streets of Washington, D.C. Absolutely. Full push, 100%, flat out, every lap for Will Power. He's a drop back to the little bit of a teammate, Marcus Erickson, who runs in the 7th position. Strategy, Kyle Kirkwood on the primary tire, safety shot in the block, and the rest taking them all on the alternates. So Kirkwood and the block are trying to go long as we ride around the nose of Will Power. This is the catch of race of Christian Lingard. There he is all the way down the entrance to turn number 6. I should say turn number 5. A view of the bump right here at the car wash. There's the bump. Power to 46, now quickly through to turn 7, and accelerating hard out to the main straightaway. The plastic cars in front, second place. Hey, what can you say about the performance of this side, this side, or this team today? Express. So now what they do is certainly for Kyle Kirkwood after winning early the season of the Chief Command to back with in the win. They could have been in several races. Kyle Kirkwood dominating the way to head back on the pit lane and lead the car.
Points up there, to check in and look at number 7 through 4, Christian Lingard. Looks like he feels very comfortable in the car. After making some jokes on the radio when he's taking a practice, we always a good sign from a driver. We're coming to pit here relatively shortly in a little bit of time, and that should be the last stop for number 7 on the run.
That's going to be mark 78. And back 15 or so for Christian Lingard to come down the pit lane, so when he doesn't have to go from that. That was something to the portion of the race where endurance becomes a factor. It's 83 new
out here in Lincoln Capital. These drivers brought to their fire safety program. And these cars in first time with the hot engine behind them. Very interesting. The head going with the crew chief is Washington DC. Sometimes it's why is it starting to get into the game for the high picture? I want to see it specifically mentioned about how kind of the exact places they use, but basically you said that, upper body, connectivity and strength, which is the key to this race because you're physically working so hard behind the wheel, every corner of every lap around here. And now we're getting to that point where we're not a normal distance to these drivers to run on this type of equipment. And into the play. We talk about this racetrack leveling in, which after the final third half, Kirkwood did lay down his fastest lap of the race. The block was good on the last check, but it's a new gun, their power, all of it going fast. Later in the race, it said this track is really leveled up, but we did something really fast. 5-6 for all the drivers. You can't exactly tell you all you need to see on the week street about the weather we on the racetrack. If you look at the high foot power down, as you look to the corners, you can see all that rubber, very good, and pulled off. Which is supposed to happen. But, yeah, there's a very distinct racing law in Florida off these corners now. These high-powered Chevy and Honda racing engines can see power from power down every corner after. He's now past the position, Marcus there to 82 on the jury. Marcus took over the 6 position of the Philly Grove Support. Gets in front of those, so that that accurate paint scene is taking distance, pushing everything on 50, but he's Eric's going to charge later in the race. How about for the very global car? Charles Kirkwood running first, Will Howell running fourth, and then Marcus Erickson to the 6th position. Big Dr. Safety on Luigi, where you're going racing. Luigi continuing to run a number of laps out in the race after problems earlier in the event with the column shape boarding.
The watch lap times and the gap between 4.7 and Lugard and 4.0 power. It was 3.5 seconds. Will has it down to about 2 seconds now, so certainly closing the gap. Chopping away at it little by little. With one final pit stop, part of the score caution.
And Lugard with the car of Scott McLaughlin, the second place owner, Justin Buckingham. Here's Scott Dixon on pit road for the stop. Dixon will hit here at lap 106 with 41 to go.
So Dixon sits on pit lane in the Wolfpack, waiting for the 18.5 gallons of fuel on Scott Dixon. Is down the way. Final stop of the day. Ford Dixon needs to go 40 more laps.
Watching how it's supposed to be on the championship lead starting today. Jay was set back when he bumped the tire laid out by the other car on the pit lane and had a pass-through penalty. He then came from 6th to 21st. Had a little left front issue on his pit stop at lap 67. Paul managed to get back on the lead lap. And he is chasing the rookie Dennis Howler to see if he can pick up the 15th position.
Just on that stop from Scott Dixon's Wolfpack crew. They are part of that pit stop championship. The crew is battle for the best pit stop crew on the 45 cars, and it's currently Scott McLaughlin's crew that leads. Chip Ganassi and Scott Dixon's car number 9, 6 points out of that championship lead. So pit stop's very important for these crews as well in the late stages of this race.
So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th getting closer together on the race course. Marcus Armstrong coming through the frame first is running the first out of the second car, 1 lap down. He's in 18th position. Then you got Walker, Lugard, and Power, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And Power
continuing to close in. Skipper Simpson wide and losing a spot to Marcus Ericsson. So Ericsson up to 5th and Simpson falling back to 6th place.
Now we have all three of the global cars in the top 5 with that pass of Marcus Ericsson over Kevin Simpson.
Out the back of the Ericsson car, which is away toward 37 to go. So at this point, the pit window is open for anyone to make it from here to the finish on fuel. We'll see some probably take a shot at it earlier in the window than later, and then of course the danger zone begins. The longer you stay out after somebody else has pitted, if you're on the front runners, and should caution flag come out.
There you go. Will Power has done it. Has caught Christian Lundgaard. Has taken that 3.5 second deficit and turned it down into a half a second. Will Power charging to the front. Makes his way to the left-hander, turn number 7, closing in on the rear wing of Christian Lundgaard. The battle for third ensues as they enter turn 1.
So at this point, the real key for Lundgaard is his exit of turn 4. Because turn 5 is shown to be the best passing place on the race course today. When we come down here to turn number 2, look at Pennsylvania Avenue. And up 9th Street. And left onto Constitution Avenue at turn 3. Then the key corner. Get a run off Constitution onto 7th Street to keep Power at bay. Marcus Ericsson and Roman Grosjean come to pit lane for their final stops.
There you see Marcus Ericsson on pit lane. His final run will be on alternate tires. Good stop will be really over Brew. He is on the way.
And the race leader is on pit lane. Kyle Kirkwood comes in for what should be his last stop, DJ.
Yeah, this looks like it's pretty straightforward for the Andretti Global crew. Onto a set of sticker blacks, and he's going to get out and onto his way after getting that Shell 100% removable fuel. No changes for Kyle Kirkwood.
Interesting call for that is pretty global crew. That Sam's car Honda. They went to primaries for their final stint. So the blacks will take Kyle Kirkwood the rest of the way with his primary tires of Will Power. And Christian Lundgaard still battling for that third position, now second position. Kirkwood from the pit lane. Making their way wide open. There was now the turn number 5. And McLaughlin just in front of Christian Lundgaard. McLaughlin now getting the Kirkwood settling out.
Kevin Simpson has been on off the mid lane for his final stop on. It's been a very solid day for Simpson. So here come McLaughlin, Lundgaard, and Kirkwood. The turn 1 pit lane is at driver's left exiting this corner. No takers this time for those three.
And then we see Marcus Ericsson cycling in and doing wheel to wheel down his car. Efficiency gets lead with his tires. Nice job of Marcus Ericsson.
That was with 13 and 14 positions. Going out Lockwood is running 14 seconds ahead of Paul Kirkwood. So we're back to the top. Absolutely the race lead with about 28.9 second pit lane time necessary for pit stop. There's a new order. We have Joseph Lewis, Kyle Clark, Dennis Howard in for final stops.
Watching the leader shot by really contact with Grosjean. And as they make their way through, Christian Lundgaard into the final time.
That's Grosjean coming through Will Power. Having just come from the pit lane. yards in for his final stop.
No single for the final time of the day. And now Will Power just wanted to get around Lamont Grosjean as they get past the lap time of 6 as Lundgaard down on pit lane. And unfortunately for Will Power, he has Lamont Grosjean holding up, coming out.
Grosjean is on fresh tires just off the pit lane. Power's been out there since lap 81. So that's the difference between those two cars. Will not being able to clear Grosjean. And Lamont came on pit lane is huge. He's out of the water, getting up to next lead for our pit stop. Along with his image right over leads the pit lane.
There you see Scott Walker, Chevrolet for Patriot. All the tires are final time, a pocket full of fuel, and Scott Walker on Randy Walker traveling over the final time. 33 laps of the average for Scott Walker. And there you see Christian Lundgaard. Well, the only reason we put number 2 on that back to about 3 points. And the one point to win, those tires at 10.
Yeah, because they were quick to get in there. Alexander Rossi and Schumacher in for final pit stops. As Kyle Kirkwood comes to turn number 6, he's second now to Will Power. 12 seconds behind Power as Power is the race leader. He bypasses the pit lane one more time. And runs down to turn number 2. Where some of those cars just came off the pit lane and will be tracking in front of the race leader Power.
Now a good time is Eddie to bring Will Power in. He does not want to come up onto that lap traffic, and it cost him any more time out on the track. He was able to clear Lamont Grosjean. So Will Power come in this time through. Turn number 5 is Will Power, who is literally 15 seconds ahead of Kyle Kirkwood. Will certainly lose that lead to Kirkwood. But does not want to get held up on this final stop for the TWG Honda with Eddie Brody.
He's 25 seconds ahead of Scott McLaughlin, so that's not enough to keep that spot with a full fuel fill. But he's seen that traffic and he's got it quite a bit anyway. So Power is up to the lead, and there's it, DJ.
Will Power's team trying to use overtake on that last run. Looks like there's going to be no adjustments. They are going to set all the alternates there. There was a lot of conversation on the radio on what they'd go to, but it was a set of reds for Power.
Will Power down the road for the final time as he races down pit lane. And going to heat those tires and makes his way onto the streets of DC. There you see Scott McLaughlin. There you see Christian Lundgaard. He will try to go in front of Christian Lundgaard. Lundgaard too fast for Power. Will fly in. That will be the battle for the final position on the podium. So Will Power needs to get his tires up to 10th. And we will see how he fares in these last 31 laps here in the 5250 Grand Prix.
So Kyle Kirkwood resumes the lead. He's got 11 seconds on second place Scott McLaughlin. Christian Lundgaard is third. Will Power is fourth. And then another 17 seconds back is Marcus Ericsson, who runs fifth. Felix Rosenquist is sixth. Alex Palou is up to seventh. Keeping 6 in his 8th. Norman Seals on the Jason Lundgaard runs in the 10th position.
Scott Dixon currently running in that 11th position. Rookie Kyle Collette doing a great job today, running 12th. And Alexander Rossi, Rick Schumacher, Lamont Grosjean, your top 15. And it's Graham Earnhardt, Dennis Hauger, Louis Foster, Marcus Armstrong, and Potter Award. Armstrong a lap down, so too Potter Award. Rasmussen in the 21st position. He's a lap down. Ferrucci 10 laps down. And the cars on the race leaders retained in the Lucas and Stingray round.
So Sunbelt Championship is just a minute with Alex Palou having the difficulties he's had today. He's running in second right now, but he still needs another pit stop to make the finish of this race. Kyle Kirkwood should be done hitting, and Kyle out in front, working on collecting almost maximum points. If he'd have won the pole, he would have collected maximum points. But he's going to need the most laps in this race. And should he hang on to win, it's going to be about as good a day as Kirkwood could have hoped for after Pelot started on pole position here in our Freedom 250 Grand Prix. So the championship will have a couple of races, 3 races to go after we leave the nation's capital. A doubleheader next weekend on the Milwaukee Mall, our oval track in Wisconsin. And then the season finale later in the weekend at the beautiful representation of the Laguna Seca in Monterey, California.
Our leader trying to negotiate around the rookie Dennis Hauger. He will get alongside and he will complete that pass down into turn number 5. Now, Louis Foster, the next driver that he needs to try to put a lot down as Kirkwood pulls away about a half a car length there, about a full car length for Dennis Hauger. 8.7 seconds ahead of second place, running Scott McLaughlin, your leaders. Kyle Kirkwood with 20 laps to go.
Loud as shit.
17 cars on the lead lap at this point in our Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Marcus Ericsson has been the biggest mover of the race, up 16 places from where he took the green 21st on the grid. Running in 5th position now. Solid day for Felix Rosenquist as well, running just outside the top 5. And taking the cap for Kevin Simpson, who after the caution qualifications late yesterday afternoon, and a little strategy made by his crew, is in position to perhaps score a top 10 finish in the final lap for this race.
He can keep everything together. Should be like his teammate Alex Pelot. And will put him in that 7th position. And anything can happen. Still 28 laps, 27 laps this time through for Kyle Kirkwood. As he makes his way through turn number 7, has yet to catch Louis Foster. Trying to put Foster down a lap once again.
Out of turn number 1, and racing down Pennsylvania Avenue is our racing Kyle Kirkwood. Just dominant today so far for this driver and this team.
And there you see the stars portion on the lower part of the video screen, the stripes portion of the infield on the top, and you fans have been fantastic. So grateful for you making us a part of your weekend and joining us for this historic race, the Freedom 250 Grand Prix here on the streets of Washington, D.C.
Now, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will continue to be the action spot, I believe, in these final laps to fight for the final podium position. For now, Will Power not able to stay right with Christian Lundgaard, but he's within striking distance. If he's able to generate a little pace here in these closing laps as the wear goes on the tires on McLaughlin and Lundgaard, if Power is able to maintain a little more pace than them, he might be able to challenge for that final podium spot. But for now, there they are, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As Louis Foster comes to pit lane for what will be his final stop of our race.
And good news for Kyle Kirkwood. I would imagine that radio communication, Foster has to come in soon, no need to attack. So Kyle Kirkwood put it into cruise control. Up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Christian Lundgaard came in a lap earlier than Scott McLaughlin, and then Will Power came in several laps later. We saw that race off the pit lane, but to your point, Alan, Power not really able to keep the pace that Lundgaard has had. He was only about 3 car lengths back, and now has fallen nearly the full 2 seconds. Now a second for Will Power off the pace of Christian Lundgaard, and we have a full yellow.
7-second lead.
Oh,
and Kyle Kirkwood is erased.
Oh no.
That is the championship leader.
What happened to Alex Pelot? The right-hander off of turn number 4. I nearly guarantee he clipped that wall as he made that turn. Indeed he did. Knocked that, just might have lost that back end. And damage to the front wing for our championship points leader, Alex Pelot. Yeah, you saw the car get upset. May have just clipped the apex of that wall, and that forced that car around. He tried to save it and damaged that front wing. So let's reset everything, race fans. Caution number 5, and it's for our championship points leader, Alex Pelot.
Well, not only does this day have big implications in Kyle Kirkwood's hopes, you see that wing is trapped under the front tire of the below car, that left front not turning at all. But he's going to try all he can to get that thing back around the attention of his team.
He needed to make one more pit stop, but that's not how he wanted it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But the championship implications are one thing. Now the other is for this race. Kyle Kirkwood's 7-second lead is gone. Yeah, that car's not going to continue. His left rear tire looks like it's some suspension broken there as well, wobbling all over the place.
What a rarity, especially this late in the race. Alex Palou, 6 wins, 7 poles on our 2026 campaign, bringing out our 5th caution of the afternoon. And there you see the contact.
Yeah, left rear suspension damage also, it looks like, on the 10 car. At least it looked like that thing was wobbling around. And Chip Ganassi Racing Team goes to work. And yes, they have more work to do on the left rear corner of that number 10 machine.
Well, I didn't see that one on the bingo card.
Well, it's something everybody's been saying all weekend is in these street races, chaos sometimes happens. And you would have thought, but yes, the chaos has happened a lot around Alex Palou today in this race.
And you see the toe link of that car indeed broken.
Through working at both ends of the machine, one part of the crew replacing that nose piece, front wing section, the other going to work to fix the damage on the rear suspension. And so the pace car gathers up Kyle Kirkwood with 23 laps to go.
So if he had a spin in turn 4, that's where it all unfolded. But damage to that left rear, I don't believe he made contact after he spun. He must have hit the wall earlier in the course, maybe in turn number 3, and then turn 3, and then continued on through turn number 4, and was able to drive it through. And then as he exited turn number 4, lost the back of the car with that toe link damage.
I'd love to see that replay again a little earlier today, just to see if we can confirm what exactly happened there for Alex Palou. But the car is still sitting. Anthony Calhoun is down in the Ganassi pit.
Yeah, guys, here with Alex Palou, and we're told just moments ago they had a broken toe link. So here's the plan. They're working on the car as of right now, trying to work their way back out there on the track here. So he's not done just yet. He's still trying to figure out a way to get some more points, but he's going to try their best to get back out here on this street course here to try to continue in this race.
Basically, the one that he's racing right now is Santino Ferrucci. Ferrucci's 9 laps down, and as Palou's crew works on that, if they can keep him less than 9 laps down, then he'll save that one position and the championship points that go with that one spot in the race. He's not going to fall any further down than Ferrucci because the 3 cars in the field behind Ferrucci in the standings have all been out of the races very early on.
So currently 1 lap down is Alex Palou, and his hopes that that crew can fix that rear toe link on the left end of that car and get him back up into the track to Alan's point. Santino Ferrucci still 9 laps down, as now Kyle Kirkwood's 12-second lead has all gone away.
So Palou rolling from the pit lane and back out onto the race course.
Actually 3 laps down.
Yep.
So that crew did a good job getting that toe link on the left rear repaired. So what does this mean in the strategy? We've got Kyle Kirkwood, the fastest car in the field all day long on primary tires. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all on the softer yet quicker alternate tires.
Well, so far in the race, nobody has shown the ability to stay with Kyle Kirkwood except Alex Palou when he was up there earlier in the race. So can Scott McLaughlin or Christian Lundgaard or Will Power muster up a little more of a challenge to the guy that's leading the race that they've been able to so far is what question remains to be answered.
Otto Award, Christian Rasmussen, both coming back down pit lane one final time.
Those were cars that are not on the lead lap that have to pass through the pit lane and be positioned at the back of the field because we're inside 25 laps to go in the race.
They were in the middle of the field, so indeed that is correct. So to keep the lap cars from holding up the proceedings, they have been moved to the rear end of the field. What a beautiful sight. And we expect a fantastic finish to this, the 250 Grand Prix.
This is a camera at the Washington Monument looking back on the National Mall in our Grand Prix course. How about that?
Stunning.
All right, 1 to go is the signal. So we're going racing next time by. The restart will come with 19 to go. And no lap cars separating anybody, racing for spots. We've got 15 on the lead lap. They're all nose to tail on the race course. And I think that, as sometimes happens in these races when you get a late caution, it brings more caution. We may not have seen the last of the yellow flags. We'll find out.
I will say the one person I think this really benefits is Will Power. Just lost touch with Christian Lundgaard in these final stages, but really had to push to catch Lundgaard. So now Will Power was more pushed to pass than Christian Lundgaard. He has 67 seconds, Lundgaard 55, McLaughlin 46, and Kyle Kirkwood with 42. The field making their way through this final portion of the course. The pace car pulling away. And Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 6 now sits up through turn number 7. 19 laps to go this time by.
Green flag is out, and Kirkwood does not get one away from McLaughlin. Into turn 1, a challenge for a race lead. And McLaughlin bounces off the wall, trying to make that pass.
Severe damage, Sunset Village, Rosenquist around. Field making their way down into turn number 2, so McLaughlin was damaged. Rosenquist was damaged. Full course caution on the course.
Oh, he went for it. McLaughlin went for it. It just didn't work out. Kirkwood didn't get away from him right away. He knew he had to pounce right then. He tried it in turn 1. It just didn't work out for Scott McLaughlin.
He has talked all weekend how important this race was to him to win, and took advantage of that small opening that he had. Made heavy contact with the outside retaining wall in turn number 1. There you see the damage to the front right of that car, the rear wide of that car, and Scott McLaughlin's day is over. Here's the run, and the Kyle Kirkwood moved to the outside. McLaughlin took advantage of it. Now it just ran out of room.
He tried to make a pass at a place where we haven't seen many passes. He knew he had to gas it up, and he caught that tire pack. Just ran out of room, and you see the damage to the number 3 car. And again, what this race means to people to be the winner of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, nobody's going to remember who finished second. He went for it. He saw that Kirkwood didn't get away from him right away, and he took his shot in that first corner. Now, behind them, that was Rosenquist, who might have caught a piece of that tire barrier wrap that McLaughlin ripped off. And there, the end result for Felix Rosenquist.
Right along with Christian Lundgaard, who started 3rd. You see McLaughlin in the wall, and Lundgaard with a great run, nearly a car length behind Kyle Kirkwood. Here we see a vantage point from the rear wing of Kyle Kirkwood. There goes Scott McLaughlin. That back end just stepped out, carrying way too much speed into turn number 1. What a tough finish for the day for the Kiwi/American Scott McLaughlin.
Well, heartbreak for Scott McLaughlin, as he is climbing from that machine. He went for it. It just didn't work out.
In an event with the magnitude that is this Freedom 250 Grand Prix, anything besides a win just won't do.
So indeed, we work done with the last of the caution flags. AMR safety team looking to repair that tire pack and the wrapping that goes around it as part of the safety measures. There they are, hard at work, very good at what they do, and very expediently repaired. And the accident scene will be cleared now at the other end of the main straightaway, removing the Scott McLaughlin car with the help of a wrecker after the suspension damage to that machine. Repositioning Felix Rosenquist's car toward where he belongs among the lead lap machines. And so we'll line him up and do it again. And still a lot of racing left to go. 17 of the 16 laps to go when the leaders come to the finish line this time.
Certainly Kyle Kirkwood will put that restart in that memory bank and not do that again.
He went pretty late in the restart zone. That was the tactic that time. The restart zone starts back in turn 6. He waited till they were coming out of turn 7 to go. And like I said, just didn't get away from McLaughlin. So Scott went for it, knowing he hadn't been able to do anything with Kirkwood all day. And another look. Just, yeah. That's pretty hard slap of that wall, too. And Rosenquist running over that safety barrier banner and just nosing in to the barrier a little bit himself.
I think I broke that rear end loose when he ran over it and lost control of the car. And unfortunate for Felix Rosenquist, who is having an extremely good day.
All right, so we're going to get him ordered up and get ready to do it again. They towed the Scott McLaughlin car away from where it came to rest.
Let's give you a running order quick while we have a moment. Kyle Kirkwood is your leader, Christian Lundgaard second, Will Power third, but it's Marcus Erickson, Tippett Simpson in your top 5, then Nolan Siegel, Joseph Newgarden, Scott Dixon, Ricky Kyle Collette, Alexander Rossi. They are your current top 10.
Pits will be open this time, though I doubt we'll see any takers among the front runners. So looking a little further back, 11th is Mick Schumacher. Very nice run for Schumacher after he started in the back row of the field in 24th position. 12th is Romain Grosjean, Graham Rahal 13th, Felix Rosenquist 14th, and he's the last one on the lead lap. Cars a lap down or more include Dennis Hauger, Marcus Armstrong, Louis Foster, Pato O'Ward, and Christian Rasmussen. Alex Palou is 3 laps down in 20th. Then you've got Scott McLaughlin, Santino Ferrucci, 9 laps down in 22nd, and the cars that have been out of the race since early on, Rita CK, David Malukas, and Stingray Robb.
As long as Ferrucci can keep things together, he will gain 1 position as Scott McLaughlin out of this race. So if things run as stands right now, Santino Ferrucci could finish in that 21st position, barring any more incidents here on the race course.
All right, so go ahead and give everybody the opportunity to pit. And come to the line and get the one-to-go signal. So one more lap and we go green flag racing once again here in the 250 Grand Prix. So the restart's going to come with 13 laps to go. And again with some 13 cars on the lead lap.
What's going to happen this time? It's going to be interesting. Kyle Kirkwood with the win thus far this year on the streets of Arlington. We talked about Christian Lundgaard. He won on the road course in Indianapolis and at Road America. The last time Will Power stepped over the top step of the podium was in Portland 1 year ago.
So lights are out on the pace car. It accelerates away from the field on 7th Street. And the field in control of race leader Kyle Kirkwood. The 27-year-old from Jupiter, Florida, a 6-time winner in the NTT IndyCar Series, second in the championship starting today. He will not take the championship lead, but he'll make a little bit of an impression into his deficit to Alex Palou heading to the final 3 races over the next 2 weekends.
We will have 13 laps to go when the field takes the green flag. Kyle Kirkwood a little bit quicker this time too. Green flag back out here in the streets of DC.
It's a gap on Christian Lundgaard of about 4 car lengths as they go through turn 1 this time. Everybody single file through the corner and accelerating down Pennsylvania Avenue. 13 laps to go.
Kyle Kirkwood out to a 4 car length advantage over Christian Lundgaard through turn number 2. Lundgaard there to about a 3 car length lead over Will Power for that 3rd position. The big battle, Marcus Ericsson, Kevin Simpson, and Nolan Siegel.
Stacking up there as they went into turn number 2. Now they work their way around turn number 4 and come off onto the next passing zone on the race course. The run up 7th Street to Independence Avenue. Kirkwood with a few car lengths on Lundgaard. Power clear of Ericsson for now as they exit the corner and race by the Air and Space Museum of the Smithsonian.
What a day this will be for Andretti Global. As it stands now, 1st, 3rd, and 4th. And Kyle Kirkwood stretches out that advantage over Christian Lundgaard. 1.1 seconds. Lundgaard there with Power, Ericsson, Simpson in the top 5. There you see the battle for that 4th position. Ericsson has it. Kevin Simpson trying to take it away.
Work their way down Pennsylvania Avenue. Nobody able to make a move at this point. The braking zone, a challenging one at the end of this straightaway. Top 3 still in the same order around the corner at that race back a little further on than we're watching there from 4th, 5th, and 6th on back.
What a drive for Kevin Simpson after crashing in qualifying yesterday, now running in that 5th position, trying to take that 4th position away from Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson with a fantastic drive throughout this entire day, started in the middle of the field and has driven his way up to that 4th position.
7th place changing hands. Scott Dixon getting by Joseph Newgarden. Now Newgarden feeling some pressure from behind. It's the rookie Kyle Collette into the braking zone at turn 6. Not able to make the move there as the track tightens up. Collette will follow Newgarden and continue to try and challenge for that spot.
That young Brazilian had such a great run going last weekend, threw it away with an incident late in the race. But Kyle Collette has been quick thus far in 2026, just hasn't had the ability to put everything together in these late stages of the race.
So looking at Newgarden trying to hang on to that spot as Kyle Kirkwood legs out again away from Christian Lundgaard. Kirkwood has led most all of this race. And, there's another look on the replay of Scott McLaughlin as he went for the move on Kirkwood. And caught the barrier exiting turn number 1 on the restart before this past one.
So Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 7. It will be 10 laps to go in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. This time by the lead now 1.4 seconds. Kirkwood over Christian Lundgaard.
And Will Power drifting a little further back. We've gotten into that point of the race where the endurance, the wear, the difference in cars shows here as Kirkwood continues to try and extend his advantage. He has just not had much to worry about all race long, except perhaps an ill-timed caution. And got the lead from Alex Palou on the very first lap of the race and has barely been headed since. The closest challenge was on that Scott McLaughlin move on the restart before last. And that was at a point on the racetrack where it was going to have to really be something else for it to stick.
Oh, the fatigue that these drivers must be feeling with just 10 laps to go must be immense. Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 6, now turn number 7. Lundgaard still in pursuit as Will Power has fallen off the pace. His teammate Marcus Ericsson slowly trying to catch up. Kirkwood, Lundgaard, Power, Ericsson, and Simpson your top 5. 9 laps to go.
You know, another driver to give some credit to on today is Nolan Siegel, the young driver from Palo Alto, California, who's running in 6th position right now in that car number 6 for Arrow McLaren. His best finish in his IndyCar career is 7th, which he did in August of 2024 on the oval outside of St. Louis Worldwide Technology Raceway. So Siegel in position to possibly get his best IndyCar career finish here in the nation's capital.
And Nolan Siegel does not have a home yet in 2027, as Scott Dixon will be moving over to Arrow McLaren. So too will Felix Rosenquist. So Siegel and Christian Lundgaard are on the outs as they currently run second for Lundgaard, and Nolan Siegel in that sixth position.
Across the line, 8 laps to go for Kyle Kirkwood around turn number 1. And headed up Pennsylvania Avenue again. The advantage is 1.1 seconds over Christian Lundgaard. Will Power has fallen 4 seconds back in third. And he's got about a second and a half advantage on Marcus Ericsson, who runs in fifth.
I will say this.
Fourth, rather.
I'll say this. Christian Lundgaard's not done yet. He was pushing down into turn number 2. It was a second and a half. He's got it back down to a second. And if there's a driver that can chase someone down in the late stages of the race, that is Christian Lundgaard. He will be driving that Arrow McLaren Sheen for everything it's got. As we make our way through the turn number 5 portion of the course, it'll be 7 to go this time through.
Lundgaard on the softer tires, the Firestone red sidewall tires. Kirkwood on the primary tires, the black sidewall harder tire. But it doesn't matter what tires put on that 27 car today. It's been the class of the field.
An interesting call from Brian Hurdick to go with those primary tires for this final stint. But when you need longevity, Kyle Kirkwood not only has the car with the speed, but the tires to go the distance here in this last stage of the race.
Alex Palou running 3 laps down in 20th place. Looks to be where he will finish, barring anybody falling out of the race within the next 4 laps. So Kirkwood and Lundgaard work their way now through turn number 5 and come down Independence Avenue to Maryland.
What a day this has been for the driver from Jupiter, Florida, Kyle Kirkwood, considered one of the favorites at the start of this weekend. Christian Lundgaard pressing really hard off turn number 7. Back into that car, broke loose on it. He almost caught the outside wall with the right rear. Managed to gather it up and keep it off the wall. But it's going to cost him a little bit more ground to Kyle Kirkwood. Dropped another half second behind him now, and even 2 seconds is the deficit for Lundgaard as he presses hard to try and find some way to win this race. 2-second deficit for Lundgaard. Kirkwood has that advantage, and then it's another 3 seconds back to Will Power, and then another 3 seconds back to Power's teammate Marcus Ericsson. Agreed. Here's the stop, and the bit of a advantage, disadvantage you saw for Christian Lundgaard. Boy, Alan, he nearly touched that wall.
He really did, yeah. I wasn't kidding. And managed to somehow keep it off the wall. And not ruin completely the finish of his race here in the final 6 laps. Top 5 to go for Kirkwood. On board with Kirkwood on the Sam's Club machine for a great goal.
Well, that brief moment for Christian Lundgaard is put himself down nearly 3 seconds behind Kyle Kirkwood as Kirkwood continues to check out with just 5 laps remaining in this the 5250 Grand Prix. What an amazing day for this young American driver. What did it mean for him to win in our nation's capital? The Freedom 250 Grand Prix. The young driver, Kyle Kirkwood, 6 wins in his career. 1 earlier this year on the streets of Arlington, first ever event there. And the first time here, the streets of DC, a commanding lead, 3.1 seconds for Kyle Kirkwood with just 4 laps to go. It has just been flawless and an amazing day. At not one point in this race, with the exception of the restart that took out Scott McLaughlin, have we seen any flaw in Kyle Kirkwood's performance. He has just been picture perfect all day long.
Exception of Brad Rahal leading on an alternate set of pit stops from laps 39 to 50.
Kirkwood hasn't given up the lead on the racetrack under the green flag, except for when he got down the pit road for his stops. Other than that, he's been out in front of this race since lap number 51. Pretty impressive performance for sure. So 3 laps to go for our race leader now, bypassing again the pit lane and exiting off Pennsylvania Avenue onto 9th Street, wrapping around the beautiful National Archives building where so much of our nation's history is preserved and recorded.
What an amazing setting this has been. What a wonderful weekend it has been. Racing here on the hallowed grounds of our nation's capital. The NTT IndyCar Series, all of you great race fans have made this such a special event. As Kyle Kirkwood works his way down and through turn number 6, and now through turn number 7, 2 laps to go this time by.
So his final 2 laps around this streets of Washington DC circuit. The dream that began back in January that came to fruition today. Fans still reading inside the race course. We see out there watching these drivers fight out in one of their longest and toughest races of the year, celebrating around his 250th birthday. And it is so unique, and NTT IndyCar Series drivers so proud to be part of this. Through the monument grandstands for Kirkwood. Back down to hang a left on Independence Avenue, past the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Under the Mowing Bridge now, the tough braking zone for turn number 6 onto Maryland Avenue and off onto 3rd Street. The white flag is out, and he's on the final lap. Kyle Kirkwood, 1 lap away from victory.
Oh, the celebration will be one for the ages. The American kid driving in the shadow of our nation's capital makes his way down Pennsylvania Avenue and through turn number 2. Kyle Kirkwood trying to claim his 7th win in his NTT IndyCar Series career. He's just a half a lap away from winning here on the streets of DC the Freedom 250 Grand Prix.
Between the National Gallery and part of the Sculpture Garden, he rolls up 7th Street to turn number 5 for the final time. Cleanly through that tricky corner and down the straightaway to the final 2 turns. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy awaits in the starter stand with the checkered flag in hand. He waits it for Kyle Kirkwood in Jupiter, Florida. 250 Grand Prix. Christian Lundgaard will be 2nd. Will Power will round out the podium finishers in 3rd.
What a day, what a drive for Kyle Kirkwood and the Andretti Global team.
Now the Sands Truck crew come to greet their driver as they burst out on the pit lane. The American from Jupiter, Florida, and there's the ice bath for the crew. Oh, what a great day. History-making performance for Kyle Kirkwood here on the streets of our nation's capital, Andretti Global. 1st, 3rd, and 4th. It's Kirkwood Lundgaard from Aaron McLaren 2nd, and Will Power rounds out our podium today.
Our podium finishers coming around the race course to wave to you and salute you and celebrate with you. At the end of this spectacular day here, Kyle Kirkwood rolling down past the monument streets as the monument stands now right between the Stars and Stripes zone.
What a view of the grandstand. The fans have just been amazing all weekend long. They showed up bright and early yesterday for day number 1, and a big thank you to you for coming out and spending your weekend with us today as Christian Lundgaard makes his way through turn number 7, but you fans have been spectacular. Our hats off to you for allowing us to come and race in the streets of DC. The welcome was so overwhelming. We thank you for coming out and being with us and a part of this great event today. There he is, headed down the front straightaway. Kyle Kirkwood, the rear win number 7. Second win of 2026. Time to celebrate. Well, as he began that donut, had to throw it back in reverse, right out of a little room there. There you go. You know, the little drag got into turn number 1. Boy, he will be greeted by
Kyle Kirkwood. This moment, absolute domination. As an American driver racing here on the streets of Washington, D.C., Kyle, put this moment in perspective for us.
You can't even put it into words. This is incredible. I'm almost in tears here. This is a big moment for us. Big moment for America here, the 250, right? Big moment for Andretti. Big moment for Sam's Club and Honda. These guys, they're the ones that gave me the equipment and this car right here to be out there, to go out there and perform. But man, that was a hard race. 147 laps. I'm out of breath right now, trying to get words to you, if I'm being honest.
What was the moment like driving around here? I mean, the President of the United States, the First Lady standing right here watching you come to victory. I mean, put it in perspective, driving around this track and being here in this moment with your team.
It felt good to dominate out there, I'm not going to lie. That was a really good moment. I'm a fellow Florida guy. I live up in Jupiter, so it's cool to see him down here and right here in this race. What an incredible place to do. You know, if you can't win at the 500, this is definitely the place to win. And I don't know if we're ever going to get another chance. I hope we do. I hope we do. This was awesome. But this was, what a dream come true.
Congratulations.
Well, the celebration's going to go on for a while. There's the strategist Brian Herda, T-Motor Dentalis. And this is one that they'll remember for all their lives, winning this race here in this